Official. Luis Diaz signs for Bayern Munich following €75 million transfer. The Colombian winger is no longer a Liverpool player, with the fleet-footed 28-year-old completing his move to Bayern Munich. Having departed the club's preseason tour earlier in the week to fly to Germany and undergo his medical following news the Reds had accepted a €75 million bid from Bayern Munich, today Luis Diaz is officially no longer a Liverpool player. The Bundesliga giants announced their new signing with confirmation of a 4-year deal for the 28-year-old Colombian winger through 2029, adding a hard-working threat from wide areas Bayern had been desperately seeking to sign all summer. "I arrived with all the dreams in the world, and I am leaving proud of everything we achieved together," Diaz said of his time at Liverpool following the official announcement of the transfer. 3 years and a half that I'll treasure forever. I have met incredible people, fabulous colleagues, coaches who helped me a lot and extraordinary fans. Liverpool is a special team, and I will keep everyone in my heart. It is so gratifying to look back and realize how happy we were. Not only because of the trophies, but for the union and friendship that made it possible. It's good to be leaving with the feeling of a duty fulfilled. It would have been the perfect goodbye if we hadn't lost one of ours in such a tragic way. For his new club, Diaz added, "I'm very happy, it means a lot to me to be part of FC Bayern. I want to help my new team with my way of playing football and my character. My goal is to win every possible title, and that's what we'll work for every day." With Luis Diaz being held out of Saturday's preseason friendly against AC Milan due to ongoing talks with Bayern Munich over a transfer and manager Arne Slot openly discussing the situation following the match, it seemed clear a deal was close. Today, it appears his transfer is all but done. This after widespread reports emerged that Liverpool and Bayern had agreed a €75 million £65.5 million fee for the 28-year-old Colombian winger. With personal terms believed to be in place, Diaz will be expected to depart Liverpool's preseason tour shortly to undergo a medical and complete the move. Diaz arrived on Merseyside in January of 2022 in a €60 million £50 million transfer from Porto and was key to Liverpool winning their 20th league title last season, scoring 17 goals and adding 8 assists in 50 appearances. A goal involvement every 133 minutes he was on the pitch as a winger speaks to Diaz contributions. For comparison, Newcastle's Anthony Gordon, mooted as a potential Diaz replacement last summer, had an involvement every 184 minutes, while this summer's dream wing signing for Transfer FC fans, Real Madrid's Rodrigo, clocked 138. Those 50 appearances totaling more than 3,300 minutes are noteworthy, too. Diaz was Liverpool's second most played forward last season following Mohamed Salah. He was, whether by sheer minutes or total goal contributions or involvements, key. For Liverpool, the question now turns to how to replace all of that in a transfer market where Bayern Munich and Barcelona before them both saw Diaz as the best plausibly available winger they could target. The current consensus is that Newcastle superstar striker Alexander Isak might just be the answer given many of Diaz's minutes came through the middle. Meanwhile, recent signing Hugo Ekitike, though nominally a striker himself, is capable of playing across the front line. If selling Diaz helps to get Isak done, there will be few complaints. If Liverpool aren't able to get the Isak done and head into the season a forward down or with a developmental winger like promising Lyon 20-year-old Malik Fofana as Diaz replacement, though, it could open the club to criticism if targets aren't met. Luis Diaz completed his £65.5 million move from Liverpool to Bayern Munich on Wednesday, but the Colombian has already suffered an unexpected blow in his first week in Germany. Luis Diaz faces a potential language problem at Bayern Munich following his £65.5 million transfer from Liverpool this week. That is due to one of Diaz's only Spanish-speaking teammates being on the verge of leaving the club. Despite Liverpool's initial hesitation to let the winger go, having netted 17 goals in all competitions for Arne Slot's Premier League champions, Diaz was determined to leave after failing to agree terms over a new contract. Bayern's second offer of over £65 million was considered too good to refuse for the 28-year-old. Diaz, who had notable difficulties with speaking English during his time at Liverpool, now faces another language barrier as most of his new colleagues speak German and English. That led to Portuguese midfielder João Paulina stepping in as a makeshift translator during Bayern's training session on Thursday, as he is one of the few who can communicate in Spanish. Bild reported that Diaz spent much of the day with Paulina, who has played an invaluable role in helping the Colombian star settle in. However, before they could form a real friendship, Diaz has been dealt a huge blow as the 30-year-old midfielder is now set to leave for Tottenham Hotspur. Paulina joined Bayern from Fulham for a fee up to £47.4 million a year ago but is now set for a return to the Premier League. On Friday, reports emerged that Tottenham had struck an agreement with Bayern for Paulina's loan move, which included a £27 million option to buy. It was initially only expected to be a straight loan, giving Spurs the flexibility to spend funds elsewhere this summer, but Bayern inserted the purchase option in talks on Thursday. Despite his setback, Diaz will be desperate to make an immediate impact at Bayern, who also signed his former Reds teammate Sadio Mané in the summer of 2022. The Senegalese forward failed to adapt and left after just one season, despite claiming the Bundesliga title. Richard Hughes has quietly pulled another genius tactic in the transfer market for Liverpool. Liverpool are having a summer to remember and Richard Hughes has been the key mastermind behind it all. The Reds have always been shrewd negotiators in the transfer market, especially ever since Michael Edwards arrived at the club. And, since he made the step up to chief executive of football, he passed the baton on to Hughes, who has excelled after a shaky start. The former Bournemouth sporting director failed to sign anyone of note during his first season at the club, although this was not solely his fault, but this summer has seen him lay down a real marker of intent. He has shown his genius when it comes to both buying and selling, with the latter something that has gone under the radar as he could also be about to pull off another simply stunning deal. After spending close to £300 million, Liverpool were always going to sell players, not to comply with PSR rules, but just to raise some finances and trim down the squad. Darwin Núñez is one player in particular who looked nailed on to leave this summer, and it still looks like this, but Hughes' stance on the striker was making it tricky to find clubs who were willing to take the gamble on him. From the start, Liverpool have wanted around £65 million for the Uruguayan, quite a steep figure given the rather torrid time he has had at Anfield over the past 3 seasons.